Okay, so I'm heading into a critical wormhole for the first time with sort of mid mid tier 2 guns, and the rest of my tier 2 equipment is pretty low. That's interesting. Never aggravated the wormhole environmental influences as I was entering. But yes, should be a bit tougher than the alarming ones. Alarming was surprisingly easy. As soon as I was in a T2, just ate my T1 for breakfast. But as soon as I was in a T2, it was no real trouble. Well, should be nice and easy, assuming it's not glitched. Sometimes this event is not right. So you'll have a... Okay, it's got the correct number of beacons, at least.
Target engaged.
It's gone to the correct number of beacons. Sometimes a beacon is lit that's not actually lit, but this time it was fine. So, awesome. Just give me your volume factor reduction. It's like, Eve Echoes does not have this kind of like wormhole dungeon environment or buffs that you get from something other than your equipment. I do really like this, you know, it's a PvE situation primarily.
Auto combat activated.
Once you get into chaotic space, which hopefully I'll make it to, doesn't seem like ridiculously dangerous so far. Seems doable. I'm using higher level ammo than I was, and it was the high level tier 2 ammo, even in middle of the road guns, it was just absolutely trashing the previous level of wormhole.
Approaching target.
I could do all the events in chaotic without much of a problem.
Target engaged.
But it was time to try critical, next level up. But yeah, this is a really nice feature of SG. But you are limited in how many you can do a day. So at the moment, I'm like doing all my SG stuff, and then just chilling out in Eve because I'm waiting. My research isn't high enough in either, really, to do PvP, not effectively. I'm gearing up for war, so I've got to do a lot of corporation research for taking part in the wars in our required ships, which, like, I don't have a problem with, particularly because that's where I'm getting all my minerals from.
Auto combat activated.
Which is what you need to do research, so it's all good. This is going wonderfully. I think it's my first time into a tougher wormhole. But, like, the combat is just so much nicer in SG. Like, the way you click on your target and it'll auto-track, and it pans the camera to it.
Approaching target.
I really like that.
Target engaged.
Other than that, gear operates a bit differently. I think the auto combat's a bit better in SG. It doesn't have the whole lock-on thing. Eve combat is just really slow and not very dynamic. And I've tried turning the auto camera on. It seems a bit iffy. The auto camera kind of like works when you first go onto the first thing, but then stops. It doesn't like auto track onto the next enemy.
Approaching target.
I'm sure I'll figure out how to get it.
Roger.
To start tracking. Well, you know, maybe there is no way to track the enemy automatically. stuff, which seems a bit pointless. It's like, why am I fighting enemy tier 2 ships that's using basic tier 1 stuff? How am I getting this off them? What's the point in it? They definitely shouldn't have it equipped to their ship. I'm not going to be able to equip it to my ship. It gets locked to my account. I can't sell it on the marketplace.
Target auto combat activated.
So why? What's the point in that loot? All the loot that's worthwhile is the blueprints and the encrypted boxes that you get.
Approaching target.
So I do. There are things I prefer. Like, I kind of prefer the Eve model, which is like, we've made this game, and you really should pay for it. Because it took a lot of time and effort. So give us a monthly thing, and we'll keep running it for you. That's great. Like, ooh, he's not friendly.
Target locked on. Auto combat activated. Target locked on. Target locked on. Approaching target. Target engaged.
Keep an eye out for that guy in chaotic space. Right, I think I've got enough
Warp engine.
buffs. Hopefully this will have some damage. I like to have a damage buff. What's my distortion effect again? 5. Okay. Is he doing it? Is he doing it?
Target engaged.
I'm doing it. I like this one. He's doing
Starting
it too.
warp engine. Commencing warp.
We'll see who gets
target
it.
Location. Target engaged.
Roger.
What did I get? Oh, I got bonus damage.
Engaged.
Awesome. Just what
Starting
I wanted.
warp engine.
15% as well.
Commencing warp. Arrived at target location.
And we move on because there's no point in doing this.
Starting warp engine. Commencing warp.
And out of there.
Arrived at target location.
So, I don't mind doing this one. Kind of chill.
Target locked on. Auto combat activated.
Especially when you've got the range. When you've got the range, it's easy. Attack one of the drones, sort it, get it partway down,
Approaching target.
start heading to the next group,
Target locked.
finish off the remainder one.
Target locked.
Skip one, head to the next group. Very time consuming if you don't head to the next group before you kill the previous one. See, this is where like SG really shines. The fact that you can do this quick move between different things. And I mean, the auto combat is more predictable in SG as well. Like you've got auto lock and auto orbit, which are really useful features. I really don't want to be having to constantly say that I want to orbit the enemy and stuff, but it keeps reapplying it in these echoes. So like when you want to go loot something, you click loot and it starts approaching it, and that's fine. I want to keep approaching it and get the loot and stuff, but it continuously needs nudging to go back to doing that. Otherwise, it just it starts auto orbiting your current target again and again and again and again, and you're having to just every 10 seconds you're clicking on go collect the loot, please. Go collect the loot, please. Go collect the loot, please.
Starting warp
And it'll move
engine.
like a little bit towards the loot, and then it'll start
Commencing
orbiting the
warp.
target again and start moving away from the loot. So you just like
Arrived at
loot.
target location.
So if there's loot, you just like go to the loot, 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 repeatedly, over and over and over again
Target
until you're
locked
close
on.
enough to actually loot it. And that kind of irks me.
Auto combat
Right, you know.
activated. Target locked on.
The auto combat in this, like I just had to nudge which target it was on again. But it's pretty easy to control the auto combat in this. It doesn't like take away the player's control. It just means you have to like learn how the game autos and when it's going to change target for you and like
Target locked on.
yeah, it's fine. It's manageable. Whereas in Eve, it kind of like takes away the player's ability to do something. You tell it to do something manually, and it'll just like it'll start, and then it'll go back to doing auto stuff, and that annoys me.
Target locked on.
It's like when it changes targets, it will start orbiting that target in this game as well.
Target locked on.
So as soon as it changes targets, you can like tell it to go back to what you were doing before. If you're heading towards a particular destination, like if I wanted to, never mind. If I tell it to move over there, it'll move over there and it'll keep moving over there. It will no longer auto orbit my active target.
Target locked on. Target locked on.
It's just my wingman does annoy me occasionally in this. Right, you know, I'm completely out of energy. He's got energy projection. Does he give me energy projection? No. Does he act? He
Target
tops up my
engaged.
barely scratched shields. Does that all the time. He loves topping up my shields. Which I love him for.
Auto combat starting warp engine.
But I'd kind of like him to top up my energy every now and again.
Arrived at target location.
Ugh.
Starting warp engine.
Are we on 8 now?
Commencing warp.
Yeah.
Arrived at target location.
Well, I think I'm gonna pop. Oh, I'm definitely not doing volunteer, Pablo. I cannot be bothered. So to chaotic space it is.
Starting warp engine.
Let's see if there's enemy guys sitting there waiting for me.
Commencing warp.
Might be seeing if I'm heading for chaotic before he pops in.
Arrived
Sit there
at target
at
location.
the thing up to distortion effect 9. Wait for. Yeah, he's probably waiting for me to go in. Probably wants to do some killy.
Target
Screw it.
engaged.
I'll go in. So if he went in, I think he's sitting there waiting for someone else to go into chaotic space, because he doesn't want to have a higher energy effect than whoever he's hunting.
Starting warp engine.
We'll see
Commencing
if he
warp.
follows me in. I suspect he will,
Arrived at target
unless he was
location.
AFK.
Target
Sounds unlikely, but no signs so far.
auto.
Roger.
Yeah, these guys definitely take a bit more punishment. That's more like what I'm used to.
Target locked on.
Let's see what the rewards are like. I might have a vague chance in
Approaching
PvP.
target.
I am running a shield extender.
Target
I
engaged.
don't need shield recharges on my ship with the current config. Well, not with the current wingman, anyway.
Target locked on.
This second galaxy is much better for like dogfighting.
Target locked on.
You really feel like you're flying that ship and it's moving around things, and the wingman's orbiting around you and recharging your shield and stuff. It's more active.
Approaching
Oh, I'm
target.
at the wrong blooming gate. Use the thrusters. Didn't realize I ended up so close to the starting one.
Approaching target. Target engaged.
My ship gets real slow when its super device is charged.
Target locked on.
But it is beautifully resistant to damage. Look at that. Not bad for low tier 2.
Target locked on.
Start heading towards that loop.
Approaching target.
And now they've come in.
Target engaged.
So now they have a distinct advantage.
Autocom starting warp engine.
What was my loop?
Commencing warp. Arrived. Target
Purple.
location.
Ooh. Now this would be a very interesting test. This one's
Approaching target.
considering how much tougher the enemies are, how long they're taking to take down, I'm not going to do this one properly. You should politely decline, which means he decides to teach you the error of your ways. However, you can get one of the boxes without having to do a fight by giving them 10 million credits. First one
Approaching target.
will be empty.
Target engaged. Target engaged.
If you fight them all, then you get both boxes have stuff in them. And you see, there wasn't really anything good in it, so I don't think it was really worth it.
Starting warp engine. Commencing warp.
I'm pretty sure it used to, the lower level wormholes seem to have
Target
stuff, but if you
location.
keep paying him 10,000 credits in the higher level wormholes, nah, it doesn't. It just gives you intel points.
Target locked on. Auto combat activated. Target locked on. Target locked on. Target locked on. Primary weapon ready.
I think I overall slightly prefer the graphics in SG as well. There's like more effects going on.
Target locked on.
Well, flying through stuff is a bit annoying. But then, you know, you've kind of avoided you flying through stuff by not having stuff around for you to fly through.
Approaching target. Target engaged.
Good, we're getting more purple boxes, which is good.
Auto combat starting warp engine. Commencing warp. Arrived at target location.
Oh, this is an interesting one, because it takes a little while,
Target locked on.
and it can be
Auto
a bit
combat
wearing on your energy and shields. I've been jumped at it before. That's the other problem, you're always like, you're right in range of the arrival point the whole while. You don't move to 30 kilometers or anything.
Target locked on.
So if it grinds you down, you've really got to keep an eye out for enemies, basically. When you get into a low situation and somebody appears on you, it can be very unpleasant.
Target locked on.
And that solar system count's going to go up to 3. There it goes.
Primary weapon ready.
Probably don't want to hang around in here too much longer.
Target locked on. Target locked on. Target locked on.
Ooh, probably shouldn't have done that.
Target locked on. Auto combat deactivated.
Let my wingman work on it for a bit while I get some energy back. That's enough. Let's go.
Auto combat activated.
Yeah, I forgot Warehouse 2 takes so much longer to beat down. Start heading for where the box will appear. Oh,
Approaching target.
apparently it's dynamic.
Target locked on. Approaching target. Target engaged.
I think it's interesting. I do not know which is going to be more effective. Might as well get one more event in. And as I've only got one left, and I've now got the zone to myself, no worries, I'll go for it.
Commencing warp. Arrived at target location.
Oh, not one I would normally do, but I don't really want to head into another zone, so I'm going to.
Target locked on. Auto combat activated.
Why couldn't you use your energy projector on me? Why would you
Target
have to top up
engaged.
machines?
Approaching target.
That's a long way I'll use the burner. Yeah, I can do this level of wormhole, but I can clear the lower level of wormhole a heck of a lot quicker. So I don't know which is better. Depends, I'll have a look at my purple to blue box proportion from the end hall on this one.
Target locked. Target engaged. Approaching target.
At least they're nice and close.
Target locked on. Target locked on. Target engaged.
Okay.
Auto combat starting warp engine.
So it doesn't take
Commencing warp.
much better gear.
Arrived at target location.
Like the main difference between, well, as far as I can tell, if you can do alarming,
Target engaged.
you can probably do critical, unless you're doing alarming in the T1. But I don't think I've seen anyone doing alarming in the T1, so.
Starting warp engine. Commencing warp. Arrived at target location.
Anyhow, that's my third wormhole for the day. What did we get? Yeah, lots more purple boxes, only one blue box. So if you might even get the occasional gold box from critical, I would imagine. I'm not 100%, I don't know. So far,
Commencing warp.
how they seem to have
Arrived
gone.
at target location.
Milder greys with the occasional green and chaotic. Unstable or greens with the occasional blue and chaotic. Alarmings have been blue with the occasional purple and chaotic.
Commencing
This time I got all purples. I mean, there's
Arrived
not
at
the
target
occasional gold
location.
in chaotic. I didn't get that much done in chaotic. Definitely inspires me to up my DPS. I've got a nice set of 3 T2
Commencing
R5
warp. Arrived
small
at target
dual tactical
location.
blasters ready to go for this, but I haven't got my tactical blaster skill high enough yet. But that means I won't be dependent on, not completely
Entered
dependent, but
space
I'm,
station.
you know, small combat blasters are actually really annoying because you have to chase your enemies down sometimes. unless you have the what's it buff, polymath plus 12-kilometer range. So I'm kind of dependent on that for using my small combats. If I had tacticals, it wouldn't really be much of an issue. It's a nice to have then. Anyway, that'll do for this. Farewell.